Hi everybody, welcome to the Voodoo Garden. My name is Ray. I will be your host today. And no, I really will. I will be your host today. I have boxes, and this kind of surprised me. I really wasn't expecting packages all in one day, and I'm really pretty happy about it. First thing I got was from a friend named Heath, because as you all notice, I'm always walking around with my constant cup of coffee because I just can't live without it. And I thought it was kind of funny. I actually have to read you this in order for you to understand how funny it is. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I have it right here. Okay, my friend Heath has a friend in another state, and his friend grinds coffee. He doesn't have a website or a store. He just grinds coffee because he likes doing it. So he mixes up these custom blends for his friends. So Heath emailed his friend, and this is what he sent him. He said, "Joseph, this guy Ray may drink a lighter coffee. Frankly, if I had to tell you anything about his character, is taste is important to him." Really? He is a vegetable home grower on YouTube and has taught me a lot, meaning a more sophisticated blend may be his choice. He's nutty, light and easygoing, great character, and a bit sophisticated. I love that sophisticated. I don't know where you got that one. So a coffee to match would be great. And thanks for your vote of confidence, Heath. But this is actually very good. This is my second cup before I film, so I'm really kind of wired up. But look what I got. It's bag of coffee. Yes, bag of coffee. I'm a very popular YouTube star, and I can afford any kind of coffee I'd like. But I don't drink just any coffee. No, I drink bag of coffee. Yes, bag of coffee. Not available in your grocers yet, but if you have a personality like me and you're popular like me and you have friends who want to send you some really strange stuff like me, you'll get bag of coffee. And bag of coffee is my choice when I do drink coffee, which is often. Here I am drinking bag of coffee. It's just so yummy in my tummy. How's that for a commercial? Could I do a commercial or what? I could be on TV. I swear I could be on TV. But anyway, it's actually really good stuff. First thing I did, you knowing me, is I opened it up and I sniffed it. Oh, that's actually very good. You could almost get high off of this. You know, when you have a really good bag of coffee, you know, before I ever drank coffee, when I was a little kid, my mom had coffee going, of course, and back in the day, everybody drank coffee. And I would just open up the can and sniff the coffee. I don't know why. It just smelled like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just a happy smell. Even if you're not a coffee drinker, you can appreciate the smell of a good roasted coffee. And you know what's really weird? I'm not a connoisseur of coffee. I don't go to Starbucks or Caribou Coffee or any of those places. I just drink regular Folgers or Maxwell House or whatever happens to be good. And so when I tried this, I thought, wow, this is good. And it's a good thing that I don't go for really expensive coffees because I'd be broke. I couldn't afford to drink all of that good stuff. I really do appreciate this. Thank you, Heath. And I will drink that and enjoy the heck out of it. Now, another thing, set aside my coffee. Another thing I got in the mail, this really kind of freaked me out. All right, this is something different for the Voodoo Garden, I gotta admit. All right, so about a month ago, a friend, a viewer, one of my friends, emailed me and said, "Hey, I'm moving to Portugal." And I thought, whoa, good for you. And but the weird thing about this is that he lives in the United States and he can't take his plants with him. I don't know, import, quarantine, or just transportation is kind of a pain in the butt. So he emailed me and he said, "Ray, would you mind adopting my plants?" Yeah, adopting my plants. And oh, that is so cool. I mean, somebody that actually thought enough of my abilities and thought enough of me that they would choose me instead of like a neighbor, family friend, or anything like that. They would want their plants to be adopted into the Voodoo Garden. And yeah, I was grinning just like this. Not a fake grin at all. No, this is a real grin. I thought, wow, really cool. You know, one thing I really was concerned about is diseases, bugs, you know, whatever might be on somebody's plants coming into my grow room, because I take very good care of my grow room and I'm very, very weird about bringing in outside plants or outside soil or anything like that, because you know, one bad batch of soil, any of you that have ever had this happen, one bad batch of soil and boom, your day is gone. Your plants are just having a really bad time. It's like the plague, typhoid, Mary all rolled into one. So I was really kind of scared about it, because I don't know. I mean, a lot of you grow your plants very well, but we never know. You know, you never know. I might send you some compost and it'll have a spider mite in it. So all of us have the potential of sending something that is. So Mevlin sends me, I don't know if that's Mevlin. I hope it's not Marvin or anything. Sorry, Mevlin. But anyway, Mevlin sent me all these plastic bags, and each one of these bags had a plant in it with a soil ball, and it was moist. So, by the way, thank you for shipping these really well. I mean, when you're going to ship something, you better make sure that it's shipped well, because live plants, it's very hard to keep them alive during shipping. And he packed them extremely well. Thank you, Mevlin, for sending that so well packed, and all kinds of strange stuff. And I wanted to show you them here in the Voodoo Garden, because you're going to see them growing here in the Voodoo Garden. I do this, I host that I am. You're going to see them growing in the Voodoo Garden for a long time now, and it's some things that I don't normally grow. So I wanted to introduce you to those. Ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Stuff. They're actually looking very nice. They're looking very nice. By the way, they didn't come in these containers. They came bare root with a little bit of dirt around the roots, or moist paper towel. So I transplanted these into my own special mix. I have no idea what some of these are, because none of them came with labels. But I think that's pretty fun, because I like surprises. So I'm going to find out what some of these are as they go. But some of them I do know what they are. This one right here is a miracle fruit. Remember that big old honkin' miracle fruit I got? Yep, I got two little ones, and twins. I put them in the same pot because I figured, what the heck. And I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to go through these really quick, and I want to show you what these are, because I have a reason for this. If anybody knows what some of these are, let me know. If you know for sure, let me know what these are, and we'll see if you're right, because I have no idea. I have no clue whatsoever what these are. So let's play Identify the Plant, okay? Let's start over here. All right, plant number one. What do you think? Does this look like some kind of orchid? Looks sort of like an orchid to me. I'm really not quite sure. I don't know. Looks like an orchid. It had really thick roots. So this is plant number one. I don't know what it is. Plant number two. It looks like an orchid to me. It's two-dimensional, and generally that's what I've seen in orchids. Their leaves only go like left to right. They don't go, you know, diagonal or anything. Orchid? No orchid? I don't know. Ham sandwich? Let's go over to number three. Number three, I believe, is an orchid. It has these big honkin' aerial roots, and it's two-dimensional. I've raised an orchid before, and I'm pretty sure, it's been years, but I'm pretty sure this is what it looked like. So, maybe an orchid, don't know. I transplanted these in here, by the way, about 3 days ago, and they seem to be doing okay. I don't know. Let's go on up to the next row. Now, all three of these came with some really long, about 2 foot long, flat leaves, and they all looked identical. So I'm assuming these are all the exact same plant. Now I'm going to zoom in on the middle one because it's the one with the most green on it. Now, by the way, all three of these had this huge bulb about the size of a baseball or softball, and I buried the bulb. They had long roots all tangled together, and I took scissors and I pruned the roots. It looks kind of like a caladium bulb, or like elephant ear bulb. Yeah, it looked like that, but this is not an elephant ear. I've grown those. You know what I think this might be is an amaryllis. What do you think, folks? Does it look like an amaryllis to you? And by the way, the reason I cut off the leaves is because whenever you have a bulb that's been transplanted, I like to prune the roots and prune the leaves and give it a fresh start, because all of those leaves is a real hassle for the plant to try to support when it's being transplanted. It goes through a little bit of shock, and it's drawing off the energy in the bulb to survive. And those big long roots, I really don't need those because they're just going to go all over the place and they look like they were all crammed together. So I pruned them so I can get fresh new roots going down at the proper angle. So I'm thinking this is an amaryllis. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, okay? And by the way, we'll just see together as it grows because it seems to be doing good and I'm sure it's going to survive. We'll see if we get any kind of flowers and what kind of leaves they look like. These are definitely miracle fruit. I can tell by the leaf structure. They were little tiny ones and they had limited roots. So I planted them in a potting mix. I put them both together because it takes forever for them to get big. And I already have one in a single pot. I want to grow two in one pot. They look like pretty healthy specimens. I mean, they're going to get better as they go. Now this one, I'm pretty sure is an orchid of some sort. It came attached to a disc of wood. Yes, it had aerial roots wrapped around that piece of wood. And a lot of people will grow orchids in really weird stuff like peat moss or attached to a piece of wood with peat moss wrapped around it. I like to grow them in soil. And some people think that you can't do that. I did one for years in a regular potting mix. Nothing special, nothing acidic, no peat moss. It was just potting mix, vermiculite, a lot of vermiculite for drainage because I don't like to have their roots stay wet too awful much. And it did fine. It flowered about 3 times. Yeah, it was a wonderful plant. This one, I'm assuming, is an orchid too, but it has these weird like tuber type things. It's a very healthy, very original looking plant. I like it. Hey little plant, what do you want for Christmas? Ho, ho, ho. I always feel like Santa when I put a plant on my knee. But I have one question that I'd like to give you today. It's a weekend edition question. I'd like to answer it here on this episode. Actually, I have about 100 or 150 or something like that, but I can't do so many on an episode. So I picked the one that I think is really pretty cool because a lot of people have this problem in the spring, and this may help you for next season. It says, "Hello, Ray. The organisms that cause damping off laugh at my attempts of sterilizing my soil for seedlings. I microwave the soil. I avoid using chemicals in my soil and am reluctant to use home remedies like chamomile or garlic because I don't know what side effects they may have on my soil, like pH levels, etc. Also, I'm having trouble with a Ziploc method for sprouting seeds because it gets moldy pretty fast. What do you suggest I do?" And this is from Oz in Istanbul, Turkey. Well, Oz from Istanbul, Turkey. By the way, this episode of Weekend Edition is brought to you by Bag of Coffee. Yes, Bag of Coffee. If you're a YouTube member and you don't have the coffee that you want, get yourself some Bag of Coffee. It'll keep you awake, it'll keep you happy, it'll keep you growing just like me. That's good coffee. Okay, to your question. Oh, I feel like a nut today. Anyway, seriously, back to the question from our viewer. Damping off is a very serious thing. It's nothing to laugh at because it really can decimate your plants. What damping off is that when you get this fungus, damping off is caused by generally overwatering, and you get a lockout of oxygen in your soil. And what happens with that is there's no oxygen, your plant is starved, and also you get fungus. You get fungus and stuff growing in your soil. It's just a total mess. It's a wreck. What this boils down to is a very simple fix. If you have a problem with damping off, if you have plants that are waterlogged and you're concerned about it, one thing you can do, and this is a desperate measure. This is a desperate measure that you don't want to use unless you absolutely have to. Mix a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide from your cupboard, the regular hydrogen peroxide, with a quart of water. Mix it up really good. Take your plant, put it in the sink, and pour this mixture through your plant. This will flush out the dead water that has no oxygen in it and put water in there that has oxygen. I know it seems awful weird. You have a plant that's flooded. What are you going to do? You're going to flood it out some more. But it puts oxygen into the soil and it gives your roots an emergency boost of oxygen. Now, what you want to do also is stop overwatering your plants. You can't be doing this, folks. You can't go flooding your plants and expect them to grow. Stop watering your plants so much. Watch your plants. Be careful. It's not on a timetable. It's not every day. It's not every 5 days. Let your soil dry out. Once it's dried out, water it some more. It's better to underwater than to overwater. Anyway, this peroxide mixture will Put oxygen back into your soil. Let it drain extremely well, okay? Put it on a drip tray, let all the moisture go out. Then don't water it. Bad dog. Stay away from that plant, okay? You're loving it to death. Let the soil dry out. And also that peroxide will kill the fungus in the soil, because the fungus is what causes, right where the soil is, where that little seedling is, it looks like it's pinched off, like somebody pinched it or something, and it dies and falls over. Yep. That is from a fungus. Now this peroxide mixture will, if you get it on the whole surface, drench your soil and drain it out, this will kill the fungus in your soil. Now if your plant isn't too far gone, this will help your plant. If your plant's too far gone, sorry, I can't work miracles and neither can peroxide. Your plant is dead. But this is an emergency fix for your damping off. And as far as sprouting your seeds in a Ziploc, toss them in the soil. Why are you doing it in a Ziploc? I know a lot of people like to do that, but you really don't have to. And if you're going to do them in a Ziploc with a paper towel or something like that, change the water in there, re-moisten them, get that out, flush it out with chlorinated water or a little bit of peroxide. Kill that fungus, because when you put that oxygen in there and the seed and the moisture and you keep it at room temperature, you are just asking for something to grow in there. Unless you have sterile conditions, you're going to have a problem with that. I know a lot of people do this, but I've never had a great experience with Ziploc baggies and germinating. And I know I should, but I just toss them in the dirt. That's what happens in nature. Just throw them in the dirt, keep them slightly moist, not wet, and you're going to have good results. So that is my answer to your question. I hope it helps. And thank you everybody for tuning into the Voodoo Garden. I really do appreciate it. I had a great time. And thank you so much for the plants, and thank you for the coffee. I really do appreciate it. Seriously, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And next time, I'm going to show you the progress on my fig tree. Yes, I got a fig tree from a viewer. I don't know what's wrong with you people. You just keep sending me strange stuff, and I love it. I love every second of it. I really do. So I have a couple seeds that I grew from seed that viewers sent me. I can't grow everything, but I grow as much as I can, and I have some really good updates to show you next episode. So stay tuned to the Voodoo Garden for next episode. A little fun stuff, a little lighthearted fun in the Voodoo Garden, and a heck of a lot of good coffee. Okay, I gotta get going. Thanks, everybody.